Hey, good afternoon. We're going to talk about the classic division right now that we're going to go on stage. The one thing that differentiates the classic division from the bodybuilding division is we have a height, width, a weight maximum per height. The one thing that is peculiar about this division is that the guys are much harder or as hard as bodybuilders, but with a little less density muscle than the bodybuilding division. As you can see, symmetry is a big deal here, and it's not so much about how you pose. So you don't have to pose classic to look classic. It has to be a physique that your waist to your waist ratio is a lot smaller than what you see in bodybuilding. You're not going to see the super overgrown big legs with the super slabs of back muscles, but you are going to see very good conditioning. All right, let's put you through some posing. Bill, you have something?
Yeah, that conditioning's pretty much the same as bodybuilding. The only difference you're going to notice is usually the density, the amount of muscle. You know, we still want that same conditioning with those clean lines. Striations, we're looking for all that stuff through the muscles, you know, clean, balanced physique.
All right, let's go. We're going to go through the mandatories. Front relax. And so you're going to see small waist, very small waist. He's still posing like a bodybuilder. So there's a myth, and I hear it a lot, people saying, oh, the classic guys have to pose classic. This is still bodybuilding. And when we talk about classic, was the old days of Arnold and Frank Zane. It's those physiques that were being put that were very proportionate with a lot less density muscle than bodybuilding. Quarter turn to the right. Another thing about classic is we have 5 poses when it comes to classic. So those 5 poses we emphasize on. We don't have the front lat spread, we don't have the back lat spread that we have, and we don't have the side tricep that we have in bodybuilding. Yeah. And then instead of the most muscular from bodybuilding, we have the classic pose.
Which we don't want to see a most muscular in.
Still posing like a bodybuilder with his classic physique. Quarter turn to the right. And face the front. Yep.
To the front double bicep. Now he chooses to keep those legs like that, that's perfectly fine. He can also kick one out, you know, if he wants. This is where you've got to experiment with what looks good with you, with your physique, with your structure.
And one thing I would say is a lot of times, and I think Bill will agree, Becky Clausen will agree with me, is you don't have to overdo your classic pose. Give me one of those front classic poses that are a little too extreme, that pretty much are not showing much. This is a classic pose. But no, what I'm talking about, sorry, the front double bicep. A lot of the front double biceps, guys start posing with some extreme posing when we want to be able to see your legs still like bodybuilding. We still want to see your abdominal area. We want to see your chest, and we want to see your biceps.
The other thing is, at the amateur level, we see a lot of athletes trying to do twisting poses for their classic pose. Unless you're a fantastic poser, try to avoid these because most people don't get them right at that beginning level. Stick to things that are basic and suit your physique more. You can use all those poses you want in your evening routine, but for the judging portion, try to stick with your strength.
Stick to the basics. Front double bicep. From here, we transition to side chest.
Notice how his transitions are nice and fluid. You know, he doesn't have to look down. He doesn't have to adjust too much. He's practiced so much that he can get right into that. So when he moves quickly like that in the lineup, we're going to look at him first because he's moving first. He's in that pose while other people might still be trying to get comfortable.
What I would like to see is maybe just a little bit of a more even shoulders, and that's a perfect look right there for him. Face the rear, back double bicep. As you can see, like Bill pointed out in bodybuilding, you see how he's leaning back a little bit, trying to make sure that the judges see the whole shot. He's keeping the legs, the hamstrings, and glutes completely tight. You can see everything.
Go ahead, face front, abdominals on one thigh. Basically the same as the bodybuilding pose.
Yep.
This is still bodybuilding, even though it's classic. And then your favorite classic pose.
And that's his shot. That's your shot. It doesn't have to be a specific classic pose.
Now, if you guys look and see how lean Lenny is right now, you're 2 weeks out from the Arnold, correct?
Yes.
Now, you have a height and weight requirement in that class. How close are you already to that weight?
I can be 207. I'm about 211.
211. So you're pretty much almost right there. Just have to pull water. Just keep tightening up. From where you're at with 2 weeks, it shouldn't be any problem, correct?
Not at all. Not at all.
Now, make sure in this division that you are close to your weight 2-3 weeks out to allow that skin to tighten up when you're losing, to allow yourself to be able to fill up before the show when you have that requirement to make that weight. Like a couple of the other divisions, the supers, the heavies, they might not have to do that. You want to give yourself enough time, be at your weight a little bit before the show, be almost contest ready 2 weeks out, where you can hopefully eat into a show. Is that what you like to do?
Yeah, I don't get too big anyway, but yeah, 2-3 weeks out, I'm close to my weight.
Right. Do you notice that you make better improvements in the off season without getting too far away from your weights as opposed to blowing up?
I've just never blown up, so I couldn't tell you. The heaviest I've ever been is like 225.
Thank you, Lenny. Appreciate everything you do for us, and we wish you the best at the Arnold. Guys, give him a round of applause. 2 weeks out. That's what it should look like.